Hello. Don't know what's happened to this. It's a bit high up today. Right. Yes. Yeah, we can sort that. We can work with that. Hello. Welcome to the functional fitness class, which will start at 11. Right. I was wondering what to talk about today, and I was thinking that I might talk about bite size again, because I've been asked several times if we have to do, if you need to do a warm up before you just practice one exercise and things. And my answer generally is at this level, no, you don't need to. So somebody that does these classes is going to practice press ups every day and planks every day and things like that. But then I started thinking, well, this is called functional fitness. And I sort of gabble over functional fitness. But then I thought, well, why not, instead of doing bite sized, why not encourage people to use the exercises that we do in class, not all of them, but a lot of them, in everyday life, and think of times that you can do that. And so that's the sort of theme of this 5 minutes, is to try. I know some of you do. I know quite a lot of you do. But the theme of this morning is how to put what we learn here into practice. It's a bit like learning the theory of something and then putting it into practice, although we're doing practical stuff as well. So, I mean, the first thing, I'm always going on about how important legs are and to have strong legs. So anytime you sit down, because I'm always saying don't use your hands and things. So anytime you sit down, don't just practice. I'm going to put this back because I want to show you the chair. Don't just practice standing up without using your hands. So if you're going to sit down, I'm going to turn this sideways. So when you sit down, get into a proper squat position and sit. Don't just sort of automatically plonk down. And then when you stand up, remember not to use your arms. And this is really important. And somebody reminded me of this today. I mean, sitting up, squats obviously lend themselves to sitting down and standing up and things. But, and not to be too graphic, it's really important to be able to get on and off the loo. I mean, I don't know, I've mentioned this before. If any of you watched Grace and Frankie, the Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin American series, and Jane Fonda, who plays Grace, got stuck on the loo. She couldn't get off the loo. She had to phone up her friend Frankie to come and get her. She'd had knee replacements, which I think she may have had in real life. Anyway, can you imagine not being able to get off the loo? It would be horrible. I know there are handrails and things, but so doing the squats and practicing them every time you go, sorry about this, every time you go to the loo. In fact, somebody once said, hi Doreen, somebody once said, Rosemary, every time I go to the loo, I think about you, which I wasn't quite sure how to take, but I know you meant it kindly. So that's your legs. Balance. You can practice your balance every day because you get dressed every day. I'm assuming, well, I know people have been living in their pajamas during lockdown, but so when you go to put trousers or anything that goes on your lower regions, knickers, pants, trousers, anything like that, just practice stepping into them. That's one leg. And then the other. It's usually more difficult to get the other one in because you have to go a little bit higher. But practice that. That's really good practice for your balance. And that's the practical advantage, rather than hopping around the room or having to, if you have to sit down to put them on, use your squat and then put them on. These are using your muscles here as well. If you're having to lift your leg up like that, use these muscles, sit up nice and straight. So that's the practical ways that you can do the balance. Arms. I was having a conversation on Twitter this morning with somebody who's a doctor, and I was saying that one of the things that surprised me 10 years ago when I started doing this was how restrictive some people's arm movements are. If you can't get your arms like this, your life is very restricted. It's not just reaching tall shelves. She reminded me it's putting on t-shirts, taking off t-shirts like that. Putting your arms into t-shirts, you have to do it like that and then sort of get it over your head. Doing up your bra. For men, putting on jumpers, combing the back of your hair. There are lots of times when restricted arm movements, I don't know whether it happens so gradually that people don't realize that arms are supposed to go there, or whether people just learn to live with it. But so any opportunity you get, and you can do this when you're out and about, just sort of, you can just do that, check your posture. And it's the movement. It's not so much that, it's the movement. So you know when you're trying to unloosen a tight screw or something, nut, you wiggle it. You don't just go like that because you'll snap things. So it's the same with arms. So when I say, it doesn't matter if you can't get your arms up to there, it's the movement of doing that that is going to gradually, unless there's something medically wrong with your shoulder, it's gradually going to loosen your shoulder. I'd be interested to hear from anybody actually that maybe has had restricted shoulder movement and through the classes or through practice is finding that their shoulder movements are a little bit easier. So that's just some of the ways that we can use functional fitness that we learn in the class. We can translate it into everyday life and how it should make everyday living a little bit easier. If you drop anything, pick it up like that. You're always saying use your legs. If anybody can think of any more examples, that would be really good. I'm always willing to learn. Those are just the few that I could think of. Right, so it's 11 o'clock now. Thank you very much for joining. The class, if you haven't been here before, the class is in 3 parts. There's the warm-up, there's the main body of the exercise, and then we have some stretching at the end. So when we finish, don't go rushing off, because when we finish the sort of exercise bit, don't go rushing off. Well, you can if you want, but we've got stretching, and it kind of makes you feel quite nice if you're doing stretching at the end. So we're going to start doing the warm-up. We're just going to start walking nice and gently on the spot. Just swing your arms, your legs, your feet hardly come off the floor. If you can, do it on your toes. If you can't, it doesn't matter. And swing your arms in a slightly exaggerated way, just to get a little bit of movement and warmth in the shoulders. And remember, if you're doing these exercises, you do them at your level. What's challenging for one person might be easy for another, and vice versa. So you do what you can do. If you can't do 10 repetitions of the exercises that we do, that's absolutely fine. Just do as many as you can, and 10 is something to aim for. If you can't do squats, free squats, use the chair. If you can do some free squats, mix and match. It's entirely up to you. The whole point of these classes is that everybody should be able to do some of them. Right, so 3, 2, 1, and cease and desist. Right, so we're going to start. We're going to do quite a lot of stuff on the shoulders and the arms, because I really want to get them sort of mobilized. So starting, putting your hand on your shoulder to make your arm like a wing. And imagine you've got a pencil sticking out your elbow. And I'm going to turn sideways so as you can see. We're going to do 5 big circles back. Imagine you're drawing a circle on the wall with that pencil. 3, 4, 5, full range of movement, and 5 forward. Just nice and gently. Don't want to hurt your shoulder. I think that was 5. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good stuff. Right, the next one we're going to do involves the whole arm, and it's the one where you just raise one arm and pull the other one back. You're not going to rock. It's just your arms that move. And remember, if you can't get your arm right up there, do it to where it's comfortable for you. Never force anything. So we're going to do 10 on each side. So that's 1, nice and slow and controlled. 2, and you're lifting your arm and placing it back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next one we're going to do, I'm going to move the camera up a little bit so that you can see a bit higher. Next one we're going to do is, again, is arm movement. All these exercises are warming you up, but hopefully increasing your range of movement in your shoulders. So you're going to start with your hands by your sides, turn them out like that, and we're going to gently put them up and touch them above the head, and then turn them back that way and put them down. So your arm is constantly twisting as well. Do it very gently, and if you can't, just get them as far as you can. If you can't get them over your head, fine. Right, so we're going to start. So we're going to go twist, twist, 1, 2. All movement is good. 3. I might make that my mantra. 4. All movement is good. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Lovely jubbly. Last one on the arms. Have your arms, your elbows at 90 degrees. And what we're going to do is just bring them in and just touch your elbows together. If you can't get them touching together, absolutely fine. Bring them to where it's comfortable for you. Okay, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3. If you can, bring them back so that they're 180 degrees. There's a line from 1, 5, like that, from one arm right across to the other one. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew, can feel that one there. Right, I'm going to put this down a little bit because I'm going to move back. We're going to do our little routine. This routine warms you up. It's good for your balance. It's good for your memory. It's good for your coordination, and it's good for your strength. So it's got everything. Still on the warm up. So you're going to do heel digs like this, and then coming forward, you're going to anchor your elbows, and you're going to do spot the deliberate mistake, a bicep curl with the opposite arm. Nearly said the opposite leg. So it's a heel dig and a bicep curl. So you've got to make sure that you're doing opposite arm and leg. You don't have to, but it's just easier. Just a small step forward. You don't need big steps. 3, 2, 1. Next one you're going to do is just take your leg out to the side, and at the same time prayer hands and bring your arms back in and out. Again, movement of the arms, movement of the shoulders, knees, ankles, thighs, calves. Oh, it's just got everything. Remember the headlights on your knees and your hips, your pelvis, so that everything is facing forwards. 3, 2, 1. Next one is just a small step back. And at the same time, we're going to have little dinosaur hands here, and they go out from the chest. And spread your fingers. Give your hands a bit of a workout. Our poor old neglected hands that do lots and lots of work. Three, 2, 1. And then finally, we're just going to do a toe tap. And at the same time, just swing your arms, opposite arm and leg again. Just swinging them, maybe in a slightly exaggerated way so that your shoulders keep mobile. Right. Where's the memory, you ask yourself? 3, 2, 1. Right, now, so the memory, we're going to do the whole little routine just to end our warm-up. So we're going to do heel dig, side, back, toe tap. 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 3 more times. Heel dig, side, back, toe tap. Twice more. Heel dig, side, back, toe tap. Last time. Heel dig, side, back, toe tap. Jolly good. I hope you're all suitably warmed up. It's nice that the nicer weather's coming in, although it's a bit nippy today here in Manchester. Right, we're going to start off with the squat. Squat is so important. So, a free squat is sitting without the chair. You don't have to go down that far. You can just do there. As your muscles, your thighs and your bum muscles get stronger, you'll be able to go down further. Remember, the knees don't come in and the knees don't go over the thighs, because you don't sit like this. I've seen people squatting like this. But you don't sit like that. You would miss the chair. So it's sticking your bum out, but trying to keep your torso as upright as possible. If you can't do a free squat, sitting in the chair, sitting towards the front of the chair, have your hands here so if you're not tempted to use them, and you're standing up and you're sitting down in a controlled manner. Or, if you can't do that, use your arms, momentum, and back down again. As a last resort, hands on knees and up you go. But the object of the exercise is to stop using your hands and to get your legs strong so that you can get on and off the loo. It's going to be my theme for the year. Right, so we're going to start. We're going to do 10 squats. So I'll start sideways and then I'll go front on so you can see where the knees are in relation to the feet and in relation to each other. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I should have said you have your hips at least, your feet at least hip width apart. 5, 6, oh, I should show you that. 7, 8, 9, 10. Fabulous. Right, next one we're doing in the chair. If you have an exercise band, use it. If you don't, it doesn't matter. Just do the actions that you need to do. I should have said, if you have mobility problems, you can do a lot of these exercises sitting down. Instead of doing a squat, you can actually just sit and raise your shin off the floor, although your thigh stays on the floor. Right, so sitting down, you're going to put the band under the chair, under the seat of the chair, and sort of behind you. And we're going to start with our arms like this. Okay, now don't have too much tension on the band, else it's going to be really difficult to do this one, because we're doing the triceps muscles, which are quite difficult. They're not as strong as some of your other muscles. So we're going to go 1, just up to the ceiling, 2, 3, 4, 5, nice and controlled, 6, 7, 8. Have the band far enough back, 9, so that it doesn't interfere with your head. If it's too far forward, you'll be scraping it up your back and things. So have it at the back of the chair. Now, if you've got mobility problems with your arms, you can, I don't know how to do that. I suppose you could do it like that. Yeah, you could do it like that if you can't get your arm back like that. Oh, quite tough, that one. I'm still not sure about that one. I'm not sure technically if I like that one. Anyway, never mind. Right, standing up. If you have mobility problems and need to be in a chair, you'll just have to sit this one out. I can't figure out a way that you could do this one sitting down. It's called rock the boat. And just stand behind the chair. You can hold on, and we're just going to bring one leg up. Your toe points forward. We're not ballet dancers. So you just go up and up. Okay, so we're going to do that 10 times each side. So 1, try not to sort of lean over like that. Try and stay upright. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I like this one because 8, you keep moving. 9, 10. I mean, that's one of the exercises that you probably wouldn't have a use for in everyday life. You don't very often go around doing that. But it strengthens your other 2 glutes. You've got maximus, medius, and minimus glutes. And that one does the medius and the minimus. So it gets it's all to do with strength. Right. Get your band again if you need it. If you have one, I mean. If you don't, just do the movements. So we're going to do the bicep curl. You're going to stand on your band, anchor your elbow into your waist. The elbow stays there the whole time. Have enough tension on the band so that when you're holding your hand your forearm's about 45 degrees, you're actually having to use your bicep muscle to keep it there. Because if you let go, it would just flop. So that's the sort of tension you need. You can have more tension if you want. And we're just going to close our elbow. 1, 2. Your elbow stays anchored to your body. 3. It's just your forearm that moves. Shoulders aren't moving. 4, 5, 6. I'm going to increase the tension a bit on this. 7. It was a bit too easy. 8. Woo-hoo-hoo. 9. 10. That was a bit stiff. I'm just going to put this up slightly because the top of my head is disappearing. That was a bit fierce towards the end. Right, so anchor your elbow, get your tension right, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to have quite strong hands for this to hold on to the band. 5, 6, 7. Maybe the tension's a bit strong here. 8. If you start rocking, then you've lost your technique. 9. 10. You've lost your technique, and so you should stop the exercise. Right. Keeping hold of your band. Again, if you don't have a band, you can still do the movements for this. Not as easily, it's not as effective. I want you to bring your knee up, put your band under your foot. So it's like that, so it's in the center, but have it here. You can have quite a lot of tension on the band here. You can have quite short hold on the band because you're going to be strengthening your leg muscles, and they're much stronger they're the strongest muscles in your body, really. And we're going to just, with your foot here, we're just going to put it down so that the heel goes on the floor. I'm just going to turn this right down so as you can see what my foot is doing, because it's quite important to do this correctly. So you're like this, and you're pushing it down to the floor. Quite a lot of people, I see people doing it like that. And it's not a cycling movement. It's just pushing down and then controlling the band as you come up again. And we're going to do 10 on each side. So 1, 2, just a heel on the floor. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Your foot, when you're down there, your foot naturally wants to come up like that. So it's an exercise in controlling what your body does as well. So the other side, and we're going to go 1. I'm going to increase the tension on this because it's not very good. Right. 2, 3. So to a certain extent, on the way up, you're fighting against the band as well. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well done if you managed that. If you don't have the band, just do this. Should have maybe told you that at the end. At the beginning, I mean, rather than at the end. Right. The next one we're going to do is a balance one. Now, I said last week that I was going to... Ooh, what's happened there? I said last week that I was going to... Hang on just a minute. Right. I don't know if you could see that bit on the screen, but I could anyway. I said last week that I was going to leave the exercises as they are. And last week we did that, didn't we, for this one? I've changed it slightly in that I've added a little bit. So instead of going up and then down, we're going to sort of mimic putting on trousers or what have you. So we're going to go up and try and touch your feet. I mean, I know when you put something on, you bend your back. So you can do that if you want. But it's overbalancing you. So I want your body to start getting used to it. If you feel you can only do it with one hand, then that's fine. I don't know how you're going to do it because we're going to alternate. So maybe stand behind and go 1 there, 1 there. But if you can, do it with both hands and do it with as little back bend as possible. Right. We're going to do 10 on each side. Ready? So 1, 2, oh, it's quite hard this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. I think maybe if you're not able to do the hands, you could do that like we did last week, or just stand on one leg for the duration. But I'll talk about adapting it next week. How did you find that? I found that quite hard. Hadn't thought it through. Right. The eagle-eyed amongst you. Oh no, we didn't do last week, did we? Why didn't we do? Oh yes, I was otherwise occupied. Right. Side bends. So feet hip width apart, slightly wider than hip width apart. And remember, just going down to the side, not leaning forward or back, and hand going over, keep it straight so that you're actually using the muscles. Always have an opportunity to use your muscles wherever possible. Use the opportunity to make your muscles work. So we're going to go to the side, arm over straight, and then up. 1. We're going to do 10 on each side. 2. These are so good for your core. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well done. Other side. Straight arm, remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well done. Right. Abs. Get your chair. I'm going to sit sideways in the chair. So sit so that you can comfortably touch the floor. And then sitting nice and upright, just put your hands above your head, just to check that you're sitting upright. And then hands forward. And we're just going to go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then relax. Did I muck up the counting in the middle of that? I sometimes do. Anyway, sitting up nice and straight, hands forward, so as your shoulders are rounded. You have to lean back slightly to be able to get your knees off the ground, your legs off the ground. 1, I'll practice my counting this time. 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe mucked it up again. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I did muck it up the first time, didn't I? Anyway, 10. Right. So before we've got 2 more to go, and then we're into the final bits of fairly vigorous exercise. So we're going to do 10 more squats, either freestyle or in the chair. It's entirely up to you. So adopt a position, stick that bottom out, and down we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, ooh, falling backwards, 5, 6, it's because your weight should be in your heels, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it's quite hard, that. And last one, which is quite nice on your legs, considering you've just done squats. Just holding onto the back of the chair. Just going to go 1, 2, 3, keeping your torso for as still as possible. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then the other side. 1, keeping your torso still. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hips a bit of a swing. Right. Remember our routine? We're going to go through that 3 times slowly, and then we're going to start doing it increasingly quickly. So, heel dig, side, back, toe tap. Heel dig, side, back, toe tap. Heel dig, nearly forgot, side, back, toe tap. Right, concentrate because it's going to get faster. Side, back, toe tap. Heel dig, side. If you can't remember it, just keep trying to keep up. It will come eventually. Side, back, toe tap. Heel dig, 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 side, back, toe tap. One more time. Heel dig, side, back, toe tap. Well done. Give yourselves a clap. If you manage to do it all the way through with the fast bits, then that's absolutely magic, as they say. Right, let me get my stopwatch up, because what we're going to do now is our high intensity stuff. 3 20-second bouts of high intensity activity that's going to make you puff and pant, but it's going to make the blood flow around your body like nobody's business. If you've got any heart problems, if you get chest pains or anything, please stop. But you're going to do running tiny little steps, tiny, your feet hardly come off the floor, tiny little steps going as fast as you can, really as fast as you can. And we're going to do that for 20 seconds, 3 times. If you can't, if you've got something wrong with your knees, if there's a medical reason that you can't do it, then you can do punching instead. But unless you're in severe pain or you've been warned not to by the doctor, it's more beneficial for you to do the running because those muscles are bigger. So therefore your heart needs to work harder to get oxygen to those muscles. Just saying, you can mix and match. Right, are you ready? Wait a minute, somebody's written something. Nikki, good morning, Rosemary. I like the new introductions. Where's everyone today? I don't know, Nikki. They're going to have to get detention. Right. So, on your marks, ready for this. On your marks, set, off we go. In 1920. Sorry, I was concentrating on something else. I nearly made you do more than 20 seconds. That would have been good, wouldn't it? So we'll just give you a bit of a rest. Nikki, when you say you like the new introductions, you mean the new exercises that we've put in, or hi, Prue? Do you mean the new exercises? You know, the touching your foot and things like that. Can't remember what other new one we did. Oh, and they. Trying to unbend your back. prove. That way, that way. Right. Second lot. On your marks, set, off we go. Eight, 19, 20. A bit better that time. I forgot to do 17. There's my poor dog behind us. He's actually just having his mid-morning sleep. We're 5 days post-operatively, and he's starting to get to the stage. He had an operation on his shoulder. He's got something wrong. He had something wrong with the cartilage on his shoulder. And he's supposed to sort of rest it for 2 weeks, but try explaining to a 1-year-old border collie once they're feeling better that they need to rest. But as long as I keep him not jumping around or not running, I think he'll be okay. And then on the 5th of May, he has to go in and have the other shoulder done. So there we go. Not that you're probably remotely interested in the worries about my dog. Anyway, third time, give it some welly. On your marks, set, off you go. "17, 18, 19, 20. Well done. Did you manage all 3 running? Right, so just while you get your breath back, usual announcements. If you've enjoyed the class, buy me a coffee. You can buy me a coffee to show your appreciation. And the link is underneath in the comments section. I say underneath because if you're on a laptop, the video's there, and then underneath are the comments sections. If you want to know more about fitness, there's my Over 50 Fitness Facebook page, and the link is there as well. I don't think I have any more announcements. I think that's it, really. So we'll get on with the stretching. Get your chair. We're going to do as usual, nothing changes in the stretching. We're going to do the calf. So leaning forward, front leg bent, back leg straight, heels on the ground. Make sure your feet are both pointing in the same direction. Lean forward. And then gently bend your back knee. That's it. And your heel will come off the ground, but you should feel the stretch moving down into your Achilles. We'll do that one for a few. I need to stretch my Achilles. I've got something niggling on my Achilles, so I need to be quite careful. And then swap legs. And then gently bend your back knee. That's it. Heel comes off the ground. Feel the stretch in your Achilles and your lower calf, although you can't usually feel that. Okay, quadriceps, big muscles at the front. Grab your heel, your trouser leg, your ankle, whatever you can grab, and have your knees together. Have this one, or if you can't do that, as usual, hands behind your back, and just see if you can kick your hands with your heel. If you can't reach your hands, it doesn't matter. Just by doing this movement, you're stretching these muscles. Plus, you're actually making your hamstrings work. But my hamstrings don't want to work today, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to practice balancing while I do it. That's the other thing that you can do, is whenever you can, have a little practice of standing on one leg. You'll thank me one day. And then if you're static stretching, swap legs. If you're dynamic stretching, just keep on being dynamic. Ow. If this is easy, if you tilt your pelvis slightly, it increases the stretch on your thigh. I'm fine like this. Okay, right. Hamstrings, those very same hamstrings that the dynamic stretchers have just been using. Sitting on the, oh, did you see what I did there? I used my hands, went down. So sitting on the chair, practice what I preach. Sitting with your knees at 90 degrees, your ankles under your knees. Just check that your back is straight. One leg out, toe pulled back, and sitting up nice and straight, lean forward from the hips, not from your waist. And then sitting up. Repeat on the other side, so leg out, toe pulled back, remember. Check your back straight and lean forward from the hips. Making sure your toe is pulled back increases the efficacy of the stretch. It increases the ouchiness as well. Ouchiness is a technical term. Okie dokie. Next one, sitting on the chair again, sitting sideways on the chair, but at the front, so there's not much chair there. And then you're going to sit up nice and straight, and this leg goes back as straight as you can get it. If you can only get it to there, if you can't get it very straight, it doesn't matter. I'm quite bendy, so I can get my leg back quite a bit. And keeping your torso upright. We're trying to stretch these muscles here. Ooh, I've got a sore bit there that I keep rubbing. Anyway, stretch it out here, relax it. When you're stretching, instead of fighting against the stretch, try and relax into it. Some people are like, oh, this is sore. Try and relax your body and relax into it. Particularly true for the hamstring stretch that we've just done. And then swap around. I'm going to have to move my chair. You probably don't have to. And then stretch. Again, try and relax into it. Okay. Right. Arms at shoulder level. Round the tree like that. Not like that. Like that. Just like that. And then dip your head. And then, if you can, interlink your hands behind your back. If you can't, just try and get your elbows together. If you're interlinking your fingers, just lift your arms a bit. I'm going to do this and come in and see what's been written. Who's he? What? Sorry. My face peering at the screen. Right. Sitting down. Remember, don't use the back of the chair. And we're going to just dip your head and put your hand on your crown, but don't push. Just let the weight of your hand push your head down, but don't actively push. Because necks are delicate things. We've got this football balanced on top of it. So our neck muscles need to be quite strong. And then look up. And then turn your head to the left as far as you can. Then put your right hand on the right-hand side of your face. Try and turn your head back to the center, but resist with your hand. And create tension in your neck. So you're fighting to go that way and you're fighting to go that way. And then relax. And you should be able to turn your head a little bit further than you could a few seconds ago. Hold it there for a few seconds. And then bring it back to the center. And then turn your head to the right. Put your hand on your chin, left hand on the left-hand side of your chin. Try and turn your head back to the center. Resist. Oh. And then relax and see if you can turn it a bit more. This is actually a good example of when you can use it in everyday life, because what I try to do now is when I'm crossing the road, I try and turn my head rather than turning my body. And when I'm driving, if I'm looking behind, and when I'm running, I try and use my neck to try and turn rather than doing that, which can overbalance you. So that's another one that you can use in everyday life that's really good for you. Just let me. Oh, the puppy, of course. How quickly we forget. Yes. Yes, he's doing well. I was a bit worried because on the third day, so that would have been Saturday, Sunday, Monday, he slept for about 22 hours on Monday, and I was thinking, oh gosh, has he got an infection? But then I was feeling his leg. I don't know if you can see, but his left leg is bald. And I was feeling that, and it felt hot, but that may be because I've built a den for him, and he'd been in the den. He really likes it. So I was really worried. He had a plaster on that he wouldn't let me near, and the vet nurse told me to take it off after sort of 48, 72 hours. So yesterday he seemed, day 4 yesterday, he seemed a bit more lively. So I had managed to loosen a little bit of the plaster, because every time I went near it, he would go, but it's on his shoulder, so he can't really lick it. Although, if any of you have watched the Sewing Bee, eat your heart out, because I took a T-shirt of mine, I've made it into a beautiful garment for him. Not that he appreciates it. But anyway, I got this plaster, I just ripped it off. And it gave him a bit of a shock, but it was the best way. But the wound is really nice and neat and nice and clean. So I'm pleased about that. So today he's back to being a bit of a pain because he's bored. So that's quite nice. So that is Loki's progress. So next week he'll be nearly 2 weeks. Oh, can't wait for that. Right, anyway, thank you very much for joining me. And I'm really sorry I forgot about the collie. Oh, what's happened there? Can you still see me? No, heck. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if you could see it. Anyway, bye.